Welcome back to this special celebration on Harry Chapin's 75th birthday here on December 7th. We're still enjoying some great conversations throughout the day. Hopefully you've had a chance to spend a lot of time just listen to all these great stories that people are sharing from all walks of life. And this next interview, I think, really represents so much of what Harry was about. And I'd like to introduce Stuart Marcus, who has really taken upon himself the whole creed behind Harry is like one person can make a difference, and has for 14 years now helped organize an annual event called Just Wild About Harry Chapin. And first of all, Stuart, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for spending time with us. And what we'd like to hear is just kind of some of your stories and the background on number one. How did you sort of hear about Harry to begin with and get involved in that? And then we'll start talking a little bit about your great event that goes on every year.
Well, first hearing about Harry, I think I was a kid in summer camp, and one of the songs we sang around the flagpole was Cats in the Cradle. And I remember talking about it with my mom, and at first I thought it was a dad who's so proud about his son growing up to be just like him. And my mom said, "Oh, you got to listen more closely to the lyrics. It's about a father whose son, didn't have time for him because the father never had time for his son." All of a sudden hit me how serious it was. Then as I got into high school, one of my closest friends was a huge Harry Chapin fan who sort of started turning me on to his other music, his lesser known hits and non-hits. And it was in the spring of 1981. Harry was playing. I grew up in Rochester, and Harry was going to sequel had just come out, and he was touring the big venues again. Musician here, and got involved with the local folk scene and the Folk Music Society of Huntington. And in the winter of 2002, I got invited to take part in a Woody Guthrie tribute. Chapin lived right in Huntington, and this was the Folk Music Society of Huntington.
Right.
Goes back to late 60s. And I said, we should do a Harry Chapin tribute show, and got some nods of agreement that would be good, but I kind of had to wait for the right situation. And in the summer of 2004, the Civic Association from a neighboring village approached me. They knew I was a musician. They wanted to do a community concert in this little county park right in that neighborhood. They liked it. The county liked it. Got a bunch of people to do it, and we got a nice turnout of maybe a few hundred people. But my dream at this point was to bring it to Eisenhower Park, which is Nassau County's version of Central Park. It's
right
where the big concerts are, and it's where Harry was supposed to play the night that he died. And I went to the county officials. A friend of mine had helped me do a video, like highlight reel of that first show. And I brought that to the county officials in charge and said, here's what we did. We'd love to do this at Eisenhower. And I walked into the meeting, and there was a big poster up on the wall of the night that Harry was supposed to play.
Wow.
And I knew right there, okay, we've probably got a sympathetic.
Right.
And we did it. And got a couple thousand people to turn out, and everyone was so happy. They asked me to do it again the next year, and the next, and the next. We've been doing it for 14 years in a row now, and every time as the night is getting close and there's just such a frenzy of last-minute arrangements and details to be nailed down, I swear this is going to be the last year, but then it comes off so well, and everyone feels so good about it. The performers, the crew, the audience. I have people coming up to me thanking me for doing it, saying they had been in the crowd that night that Harry died, and just it's such a good feeling that okay, I'll be happy to do it again if they'll have me.
And is that the crux of what you think the success has been? It's really just about, hey, let's celebrate this man and his music and his life, and it's it's just pure celebration of how good music, what music can do to people.
Yeah,
and for people.
Harry is just beloved in memory on Long Island.
Sure.
Certainly among folk circles, but among fans of music. Everybody that's in their 40s and 50s and 60s remembers him, remembers how much he did. It's every other show he did, I think, was a charity event or a benefit of some sort. And he was just frenetic and on the move. And of course, everyone remembers him for founding Why Hunger, World Hunger Year back then, and
Right.
long years. And he's just so beloved that people want to hang on to that memory. It also gives me a great chance to showcase some of Long Island's great musical talent, which means a lot to me personally. A lot of these people are good, but probably don't get a chance to play on a big stage in front of a big audience. So the chance to put them on a stage in front of 2,500 people is a really cool thing too.
And Harry would love that, right? I mean, he loves supporting that whole concept of the up and coming artist.
Actually, Tom Chapin came a few years back, and I asked him what he thought. His exact words were, "Harry would love this." So I feel good.
Well, that's awesome. And I just love hearing about that story. And I believe you have a website or Facebook page that people can go and learn more about it, about the event itself.
Well, there's a Facebook page called "Put Harry on a Postage Stamp," which there's
right.
updates and posted there. There's a Folk Music Society of Huntington Facebook page and website, fmsh.org. So there's word around about it. You can find, and of course the county has it on their website when the date is set, and all that as well.
Very cool. Stuart, thank you so much for spending some time with us today and celebrating Harry's birthday. And we look forward to hearing more about the success of that event going on. It's just been a blast to see all that kind of come together over the last 14 years. And as we are heading out to do some more interviews here in a few minutes, we want to just remind everybody that we do have a match going on. So if you go on over to betterplacetobe.org, you're going to see all kinds of really interesting collectibles out there. And right now, for every dollar you donate and provide through some of those collectibles, it's going to be matched dollar for dollar. And we have up to $5,000, actually $6,000 now, thanks to some of our grand supporters out there. And one of the particular packs that you might really want to look into is the Rare Collections pack. It's got a rare song compilation of 8 songs of Harry's, that's 2 of which you probably aren't going to hear anywhere else. They were never released. There's a limited edition poster there, his poetry book, and the fan pack that's all included in that bundle. But when you go to that site, you'll see all kinds of other possibilities there. And we do hope you take a chance and opportunity to help support the foundation and all the good work that continues to go on across the country through the Harry Chapin Foundation. And we'll be back in about 5 minutes with a lot more exciting interviews coming up.